You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. Michelle, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to my couch, as you always are here on Wednesdays, Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon. Welcome wherever you are all around the world. Today, we're talking about a subject that I think a lot of you are really going to be interested in because we've always thrown around the concepts of raising your consciousness, elevating your thoughts, be positive, and try to change yourself, so you can come into the new world. And whatever that means, we can talk about that too today. But today, what we're talking about is how to elevate our thoughts, how to become more positive people. And actually, the fact is that there is science of quantum consciousness, as they call it, that is not Newtonian anymore. It's more, it's quantum based, and how our thoughts affect the energy fields. It is science based. The HeartMath Institute has done so many tests on this: thoughts, heart, feeling, energetic impulses, and how they affect our lives around us. So today we're talking to my special guest, Dave Cohen. Hi there, Dave. How are you?
Hey, Doc. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great. Oh, it's so great to have you. And by the way, David is not only the founder of the Medicine Fam on Instagram. Check it out. It's an incredible page. We're talking about so much positive vibrations, and that's why I picked him for today as well. And of course, he reached right back out to me and said, of course, I want to be a guest, because he is a meditation expert. He's participated in so many podcasts of meditation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's true. Check out his Instagram, which is the Medicine Fam. It's excellent. Find out more about how to get yourself in alignment, feel higher consciousness, be more positive, which of course, which we'll be talking about, affects your mind and body today. So thank you so much, Dave. Also, you've been a participate on, Tim, I don't know if our audience follows Tim on Gaia TV, but he has what are called All Shift Happily Now podcasts. All Shift Happily Now. Check them out. David's been one of the meditation teachers on those, which is great.
Oh, thank you, Doc.
And, he welcomes you.
Keep talking.
Okay, I'll keep talking. I just love the casualness of
Excuse me.
with Dave here on the live podcast. So, okay, today we're going to be talking about how to elevate our thoughts. Again, just reviewing. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out to me, straighttalkdoc@gmail.com. If you saw the post on Facebook and what we're about today, straighttalkdoc@gmail.com. Comments, whatever, I don't care. They're coming in. It's great to have you always. So, everybody talks about raising our consciousness or having our higher thoughts. And just a little psychological background, because I'm a psychologist. That's what I do. But we will always, have bad things or negative things that happen around us, right? We can't control a lot of things all the time, supposedly. Stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
But what you do control is how you think and how you feel, right? And how we respond to those supposed uncontrollable events, right? So it's sort of how we shape and create our life. In the conscious community of psychology, a lot of people say, oh, he's just lucky. She's just so lucky, that kind of thing. Well, maybe it's because the way we choose to think, or the way we choose to speak, the way we choose to feel, that creates our surroundings, right?
Absolutely.
You heard all about, right, Dave? I mean, we were talking years ago about the law of attraction. Remember Esther Hicks and all of her gang?
Of course. Absolutely. There's proven science. And when we were first talking about it 15 years ago and stuff,
at least, yeah.
At least, and I know you've been talking about it for longer than that, and doing this work for a long time, which is amazing. But yeah, I mean, when we were first, connecting on LA Talk Radio and talking about it, there wasn't nearly as much data and science as there is today.
Exactly.
You know, today there's backed science and there's data that really proves, you know, and a lot of that is thanks to Dr. Joe, obviously, who you've had on your show, which is just amazing.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant.
Just amazing. That is so cool. But yeah, I mean, he's been able to. I was just gonna say, pioneer a lot of the data in, you know, proving the connection between emotion and manifestation, and, you know, and his whole thing is, you know, wave to particle and particle to wave. So that's, you know,
it's really true. What I think when our creating part gets really serious, our thoughts, if we think of them over and over, and this is again going back to what Dr. Joe told me, we assign truth to our thoughts. Okay, it's, you know, people say, oh, well, that's your truth, your thoughts. Okay. And they become beliefs, and then beliefs become a cognitive lens, which is a filter, you know, from our environment, from our trauma growing up, from our positive experiences, from our being hurt, from everything. We have our own lens in order to survive, right?
Right.
And it matches what we believe to be true. So Dr. Joe told me, thoughts that fire together, because our brain is an electromagnetic tool. Our neurons are firing together these thoughts, and they wire together. And the more we think a thought, the larger those neural patterns get. And the more we think.
That's right.
Activity, selective thinking.
That's very true.
So we have to work on more positive or higher conscious thoughts, right? And I think one of the most important things, you would agree with me because you have practiced this, I know, Dave, in your meditation teachings, is going within and taking care of loving yourself and working on yourself first.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because if we're, as I was just describing, you know, going through, oh my God, I'm out of control, my life and horrible things, and we're firing and wiring these thoughts, which I hear from a lot.
Sure.
My patients is, oh my God, just my luck. This will happen.
Right.
Just, you know, this has happened to my family, and yeah, it's in the DNA, all this negative stuff. So yeah, I mean, the more we think, the more we believe it's our truth, it becomes reality.
That's right.
So how can we change that? You know, we are participating in creating our reality, whether we believe it or not. A lot of people go, oh, I don't want to do this woo-woo stuff. It's not woo-woo. It's, you know, it's science. It's quantum physics, trying to understand the importance of managing our thoughts.
Right.
You know, so I was just looking at this thing, really a great quote about how quantum physics affects our thoughts.
Let's hear it. And I have my computer here, so if I'm looking down.
Oh no, that's cool.
I'm looking down it.
No, that's great.
And some notes here. But yeah, no, go on, please.
No, so here's the thing is we're turning into, most scientists right now are believing in, you know, the concept of quantum physics. We're just not used to Newtonian 3D, you know, how our thoughts affect. If you are really interested in this kind of thing, how our thoughts and feelings affect our reality, you know, check out the HeartMath Institute.
Right.
You know, Google that and find out all the research they've done. Check out Dr. Joe Dispenza. Check out all of that, Greg Braden, all of these people who I have had on, all these people I've been able to speak to, Marianne Williamson, about creating miracles in your life. She was an amazing guest. And it's really what we think, what we believe, we embrace, and we put out there. You know, so the more self-positive talk, the more mindfulness, which David's going to mention. I think you said you were going to talk about that a little bit too. The more mindfulness thoughts and feelings and being aware of ourselves and how we're thinking and how we automatically go to the dark side, as I call it.
Right.
So, I mean, so that's what we're talking about today, is how to sort of get into higher consciousness, or whatever you want to call it. If you're uncomfortable with that, folks, positive thinking, taking care of yourself with your mind, how you can do that and step up, so that's what we're talking about today. So can you explain, we were talking earlier about the concept of mind over matter. So
Absolutely.
Right, it has like a really powerful influence. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely.
And pardon me, I'm drinking my tea, so I don't.
Oh, that's good today. That's so good. Yeah, I mean, it's not a new concept, right?
Right.
Saying mind over matter has been around forever, especially in heavily in athletic influence. A lot of athletes will practice mind over matter, right? And what that is baseline, without looking into my notes and getting too deep, and I will explain.
That's fine. I'm cool with that. You take good notes.
I will read this. I just off the top, just for easy explanation and understanding. It's about learning to disconnect your emotion of limitation to whatever physical sensation you're having. So mind over matter, right? So if you are emotionally invested in something going on in your reality, mind over matter is learning to disconnect that emotion of feeling like overwhelmed, or like you are not able to achieve something, or you have maxed out your ability to do something. That's not true. The mind over matter is you go within, you kind of surrender to this place inside of you, which is all the great yogis and teachers and gurus, and this is the place that they've all talked about, and surrendering to that place within is how we regain access to tapping back into the stream of consciousness. The Dr. Joe calls it the field, right? Marianne Williamson calls it, the I believe I think she actually also calls it the field. The field. There's different names for it.
She was really invested in the Course in Miracles too. Which she was telling me, which is create your own life, create your own miracles.
Yes, precisely. That's right. So I'll just get to this. Mind over matter has a powerful influence over our reality. It's not just a philosophical perspective.
Right.
There's been modern research into psychology, physiology, and even quantum mechanics that suggests our thoughts, both at the conscious and subconscious level, play an integral role in shaping our physical reality and overall well-being. By understanding this intricate relationship, we can further decode the mystery of our existence and tap into the latent potential of our minds. And that latent potential is found in that place that we were just talking about. Learning to tap into that source of energy. There is a think of it as like a limitless pool of energy that if we can allow our consciousness to become a vibrational equivalent, which means to magnetize at a certain frequency, allowing us to stream this energy, then we can influence matter. We can influence, the physical reality will reflect the influence of the mind. And that's just what it means. And it's just, once again, it's all about tapping into this stream of energy.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. That makes a lot of sense. And the stream of energy, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, I've been reading a lot of books trying to understand a little bit better, and I'm reading them over and over and over about embracing quantum physics as a useful theory in not only creating what we want, but sort of putting out an energetic field. So it applies to microscopic particles, subatomic energy, and Newtonian physics, old physics, three-dimensional physics. It can predict a future outcome. Quantum physics acknowledges that all probabilities exist in the forms of energetic potential. Into that, but there's been so many experiments done, on quantum particles. So you're moving from particles, Newtonian physics, to waves. All right. Quantum perspective says that the universe is an integration of interdependent energy fields that are entangled in a meshwork of interactions. One of our faves, Bruce Lipton, right?
Yeah.
This Newtonian manifestation is all about action, causes, and effect. It's the idea that if we work hard enough, our dreams will be made manifest. We have to be controlling and ego-reliant and transforming and push. It's all action, and which is true in many ways. We have to use our action.
You got to put in the action.
Right.
Of course. And the intention, you can't, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you go. That's why.
No.
I love it.
I was just going to briefly say, I think there's a common misconception where people, when they get introduced to this information and this way of going about life, it's very easy to surrender quickly to thinking, oh, well, if I just think right and, I don't need to do any action. If I just tune myself, if you will, learn to tune your frequency, if I allow myself to feel the emotions of, all just the manifestation 101 tips and tricks, feel the emotion as if it's already there. You do that, but you got to take the action in this dimension. This dimension requires action. Now, where it meets in the middle is we don't need to take nearly as much action as Newtonian physics has told us, right? We don't need to push and climb and push and climb and push and climb. That is a very third dimensional construct, thinking that the only way to succeed is by going against the grain. And essentially, as Abraham Hicks would put it, is, paddling the boat upstream. That's not something, now, sure, little by little, chipping away, doing it that way. Will you see results? Absolutely. Of course.
Sure.
But there is a much easier,
right?
Say that again.
It's exhausting sometimes.
Tremendously. And this is why a lot of people fall ill. And this is why a lot of people end up creating. And when I say creating for themselves, I say that very lightly and loosely, because I know that there's a lot of people that have had terrible things happen to them without their knowledge. They didn't choose it. They didn't create it for themselves, but the pressure and stress of that type of thinking and that lifestyle of paddling upstream all the time and building against the grain and pushing and grinding and pushing and grinding, although it's very honorable.
Yeah.
It's hard on the physiological system. It's the amount of stress that you put on yourself manifests in so many different ways. And, that's everything from cancers to arthritis to, it's all across the spectrum. And depending on those levels of density, that determines what degree or what level of discomfort or disease we, the person experiences. So just going back to what we were saying, Doc, is, it really is about the key, the sweet spot in between the Newtonian in relationship to the quantum way of manifesting.
Right.
Is, yes, you You do have to get yourself in alignment. That is the hardest part. That is the work right there.
We're going to talk about that, how to do that, because I know you have some good ideas as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, I just think, you know, what has worked for me.
And let me just throw this in there, because I'm getting some emails.
Oh, I love
that. straighttalk.gmail.com here.
I love that.
Can you go into quantum a little bit more? No, I'm not a scientist. I'm sorry. But what I will tell you, just Google the quantum manifestation. It's a combined effort in which our clearly visualized desires are collapsed into physical reality with assistance from the 0 point field, the ZPF, 0 point energy field. Google that, folks. Find out more about the 0 point energy field, which combines desires, efforts, emotions, and turns those things into, as Dr. Joe said, instead of cause and effect, we're causing an effect.
Yes, precisely.
And it's about combining, again, Heart Math Institute will tell you, combining our feelings, heart, our thoughts, brain, intentions, focused.
Yep.
And in a positive sense. This is why I have so many people coming to me with, you were talking about physical disorders, mental disorders, anxiety, panic attacks, major depression, things like that are caused from the exterior that they're taking in and belief systems from the past.
Right.
We've all had them. We've all had certain traumas. We've all embraced things. Just thought I'd sprinkle in a little psychology there, but it's all related. Quantum field thoughts, feelings, trying to be more positive. And like you were talking about, the impact of our negative thoughts, and I hate to even say negative, positive, but it all is, and it's how we choose to create it, right? So we were talking, and I'm so sorry that
not at all. Not at all.
But
not at all. I appreciate it. I was just saying just to wrap up, and then I want to please pass it over to you, and I want to continue. We have to still put in a little work. We have to still do the action part of it, and that's it. Is the hardest part, the most energetically trying facet of this whole new age way of manifesting is getting yourself into a place mentally, so vibrationally, or within your consciousness, that you can feel the emotions of the things that you're looking to experience. You can feel the presence. If you can, and what that is briefly is when you can feel it before it's tangible.
Yes.
You are actually feeling into, and for those of you listening, you're welcome. Please look this up. This is out there. This information is very abundant out there. You are actually feeling into a parallel timeline, and we'll save that for another show. But it is a parallel timeline of the version of you. There's an infinite number of potential outcomes and versions of us, and time is not linear. It's all now. It's all already happened, meaning we have the ability, our consciousness, to tap into different versions of us, and we receive information. So when you feel the emotion of having something that you haven't yet experienced in the tangible 3D.
When you predict something really positive or negative and you're thinking about it. Right. Yeah.
You're feeling a parallel version of you that already has it. You're feeling, you're essentially you're vibrating closer to the quantum version of you that already has the full-blown physical manifestation of whatever it is you're looking to manifest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Once you feel it a little bit, and then there's the action part is just taking inspired action. That's just when you get an excitement to do something, and it could be anything.
Right.
You gotta act on that. A lot of people will justify not taking inspired action. They'll think they'll feel like they want to do something, but they have too much going on or whatever it is. And these are the little blip moments that allow us these opportunities.
Sure. No, that makes sense. To your point of, you know, we have different existing parts of ourselves, that kind of thing. That fits right into the quantum thing, because again, we're not going to get into the science or anything like that, but supposedly to the quantum consciousness scientists, it's we choose this now reality, or because of our beta consciousness as human beings, we choose this now. But we can get into other possibilities, like you said, by sort of creating what ifs in our mind.
Yes.
What if I were to do this, and take action, start seeing it, feeling it. And I know that you were also going to talk about some of the things we can do.
Absolutely.
And tap in. And one of those, you said the word mindfulness, I think. And in psychology, we teach mindfulness meditation. And that's not like going into meditation of losing the self, like transcendental meditation. It's being in psychology. And let's see if this fits with your definition as well.
Dr. Michelle, I am so sorry. I have to just grab my charger real quick. I am so terrible.
Oh my gosh. Okay, no.
It's right here. I feel terrible.
No,
I
won't think that you just bleeped out. I will just think that you used the quantum field and bleeped out. Anyway.
I entered a parallel reality. No, I'm right here. It'll take 10 seconds. Please go on about mindfulness.
You just do what you need to do. It's all good.
Okay.
I always say this to my guests, but when Dave comes on, it's always casual and we always have fun. So, okay, mindfulness meditation. Here's the thing. In psychology, mindfulness is being mindful. Think about what you're thinking about. It's like cognitive behavioral psychology. Goes a little bit more beyond. Think about your thoughts. If you're negative, you're angry, you're feeling negative, you're putting it out there, you got to think about your thoughts.
Yeah.
Think about mindfulness is also thinking about your feelings.
It is.
How did that make you feel what that person said to you? Let me think. Instead of just blowing it off. How did that make you feel? It made me feel sad. It made me feel great about myself. What was it? So being mindful of your feelings, being mindful of your thoughts, and changing them using certain techniques that Dave's going to tell you about, what you said, like affirmations and visualizations, all that. But being aware, the mindfulness meditation is being aware of your thoughts and feelings and your reactions, what you say, how you say things, how you're going to react, not knee-jerk reactions or impulses to defend yourself or to do something because your ego needs feeding.
Right.
Mindfulness meditation, it's being quiet, going in and saying, okay, what do I feel good about today? What did I say that was probably hurtful? What did I feel that hurt me? What did I feel that made me feel good? So you define all these things. So that's being aware of thoughts, feelings, actions. And I'm sorry I went on about that, but it's a big thing in psychology. It's huge, you know.
Absolutely. Because really it's at the end of the day, being mindful of what you are putting out.
Yes.
Having the ability to recognize outside of your own egoic attachment to whatever it might be, is one of the primary, I would say one of the primary facets of learning how to be your best self, learning how to understand yourself from a perspective outside of just the ego. And I think that's, that a lot of people are very quick to get stuck in just justifying all of their actions, regardless of whether it is it's having a positive or not so positive influence or impact.
Right.
You know, you get cut off on the freeway or the highway, and you flip someone off.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's all well and good, right? It happens, and that's fine. But there's so many different ways to go about, you know, and then you got to keep in mind, you're only doing it to yourself. You are projecting this energy, right? So I guess becoming mindful is so important, to be able to take a step back from that, from the ego need to show, you know, show this and let me express this energy because you pissed me off, and you know, being mindful is taking a step back and saying, that's all right. I'm grateful that no one got in an altercation. Thank you for protecting my journey and my travels. You know, you can always go into gratitude when stuff like that happens. You know, that's huge. If you can teach yourself to shift into, you know, thank you for protecting our travels. That was a close one. Thank you for for nothing happening. Thank you for ensuring our safe travels and the safe travels of my loved ones and those around me. If you can move into that instead of, you know, flipping someone off or how could you, and you know, that is taking a step towards mindfulness. And that's just obviously one example.
No, it's great. And no, you're right. Gratitude is it's spinning the thought of, instead of, oh, this a-hole cut me, it's more like, thank you for keeping me safe. And whoever, and this is not religious, it can be, it's all cool, spiritual, religious, whatever you want. Whoever you're thanking, God, higher power, higher consciousness, whoever.
Right.
You can say, woo, you know, some people they tell me they have spirit guides who watch over them, whoever that is, deceased relatives, angels, whatever. But they always say, oh, whoever's protecting me or whoever you believe in, thank you for that. You and I have had meals together a lot. You and I have shared time with friends, family. And you said, when we sit down, you always say, let's have some gratitude. You always close your eyes, especially like before a meal. You'll always say, let's be grateful for this food on our table. Let's be grateful for all being together. And I really appreciate that about you, because you're spreading the gratitude.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. No, it's so important, you know. It goes beyond just taking and we won't get into this, but it really does. It goes beyond just closing your eyes and saying thank you. There's studies that prove, there's molecular studies on the molecules of rice, molecules of water, molecules of different types of food. Dr. Masaru Emoto, he's best known for the water experiment.
Right.
But he also did it with rice, and he did it with a couple other types of food. I think there was a vegetable in one of them.
Right.
And so what was proven was, when you thank your food and you recognize, you are mindful of the role that each meal plays in your life and how essential each of those meals are. Without that one meal right there would be an emptiness. There would be a lack of energy. And then giving gratitude for all the people that made this meal happen, you know. Right. And it's, once, like you said before, it's not a religious thing. A lot of people say grace, and that's beautiful. And
beautiful.
But this is more so about changing the molecular structure of the food, in making it a lighter, brighter molecular structure, so the body can actually digest it easier. The body digests, you know, when you hold an apple. David Wilcox did a study. This was many years ago. When you hold an apple, your stomach starts to release the enzymes of how to break that apple down before you've even consumed it.
Pavlov's dog, baby.
Right. And when you are giving gratitude, and when you feel grateful and gracious towards anything in life, your body releases the chemicals to, whether it's an emotion or whether it's an enzyme to break food down, whatever it is, your brain is releasing these chemicals. And depending on your frequency, your relationship with whatever's going on, your brain will release the necessary chemicals. All I'm saying is gratitude makes those chemicals that are being released a higher functioning chemical relationship between the mind and body.
Well said. And what is the water experiment, doctor? Who is the
Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Masaru Emoto. And Google that, folks, if you want to learn more about mind over matter. Because
yes, definitely. That is the mind over matter ultimate experiment.
Right. It really is.
And he proved.
Yeah. And how does that work too? Again, if you go on to the HeartMath Institute, you'll find out also about the studies showing the energetic output that our bodies have, measuring energy waves in our thoughts and our bodies, energy waves, electromagnetic heart, electromagnetic brain, the energy waves they measured. And Dr. Joe Dispenza has done this in so many different experiments. The energetic output from our bodies they have measured is about 3 meters, which is about 9 feet. Okay.
Right.
So we're putting out an energetic imprint out there. Okay. However that works in the photons, in the quantum field, however that works, we're all made of that. That's what we all are.
Right.
So we're connecting with that through our minds and bodies. And this is why humans are so brilliant. We can create so many things in our life. But what clouds it up is the negativity. So, and the fear. That's called survival. My God, we all have trauma. So we have to overcome that with mindfulness, looking at our negativity and our thoughts of, wow, I created that negativity and fear to survive because it was so scary growing up because I had physical abuse or emotional abuse.
Right.
Okay. That's the psychology part. But so moving on to your ideas too of how we can help, not only through mindfulness, gratitude. You were also talking to me earlier about affirmations.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. There's, you can use, there's a multitude of tools, right? Such as affirmations, visualizations, gratitude journaling, and just simply surrounding yourself with positivity. Right. These things will initiate, they will be a gateway, if you will, into mindfulness, right? But yeah, affirmations is, for those of you that aren't already aware, it's just using positive, empowering statements that resonate with you. That you something, and keep in mind, there's a lot of people will affirm things that they don't believe because they want it. And doing it that way just kind of creates a larger gap between where you're at and where you want to be. Because once again, it's about emotion. It's not so much about the words you're saying, although words are extremely powerful, but it's what emotions are being invoked when you say these words, because it is the emotion that creates the magnetism towards what you experience.
Yes.
That's why emotions are so powerful. When you feel an intense emotion, you are magnetizing 1,000-fold, or more, infinity-fold, really. The quantum magnetism from an emotion, it magnetizes very quickly. So when you feel an emotion connected to a word, that is the intention behind affirmations or affirming.
That makes a lot of sense, because you were talking about magnetism and we have our hearts are very magnetic. So you're talking about emotion behind the thought. There are what they call sensory neurites. There's about, give or take a few 100,000. There's about 40,000 sensory neurites, which are neuron cells in our hearts.
In the heart.
Those are emotion cells.
Yes.
More so than in our brain.
Yes.
Right? So because the brain left, right, but very left, we're analyzing. That's how we function. We're reasoning, functioning, frontal lobe, analyzing, survival, that kind of thing. But when, the sensory neurites take over, we go into our heart and feel. And I'm not talking about dramatic emotions of, oh my God, that person hurt me. No, you're creating that. It's, how do I feel? I'm going to start to feel love. And I think you're right. The quickest way to create a positive affirmation, close your eyes, because we'll talk about that really quickly as well, but is close your eyes and visualize someone who you love deeply.
Yes.
Look at their face. You'll see yourself smiling. That's how you initiate the feeling towards an affirmation that's positive. Yes. So think of someone's little face, whoever that might be, your parents, your loved ones, your child, whatever. And it'll ignite those sensory neurites. And you'll start feeling a good feeling, and then start thinking about positive things that you want to create.
Yes.
To your point about affirmations, I've had people I've worked with that say, okay, now I've read all the positive things that you should do for yourself. And I've written down 5 positive affirmations, and I say them every morning. And they say, I am a wonderful person. I am so intelligent. But then they go, nothing's happening after like 3 months. And I go, do you believe? Do you feel these things?
Right.
No, I just thought that if I said them, the more I said them, the more I believe them. Sure, but that's a really long journey.
Right.
It's like training, just like training a dog. Repetition is rehearsal, but we have to use the feeling and belief, knowingness. We can't just say something. I am wonderful.
Right.
I am brilliant. And just say, well, the universe is going to take care of the rest. That's old school from The Secret. The Secret,
right.
Sorry. But the movie The Secret, very great, very nice, good beginnings. But if you use the heart and you use the emotion, then what you're going to do is apply that to your affirmations and know that you feel these things for real. And if you don't believe them about yourself, don't force it. Don't put them in your affirmations.
Right.
Find something you're wonderful at and you're good at, whether it's loving your pet. I am a good pet parent, loving your dog or your cat or your whatever. If you don't have kids, loving your spouse, loving your partner. If you don't have a partner, loving something about yourself that you're really good at, whatever it is, gaming, whatever it is. I love that about myself. Use those tools to affirm what you're good at so you can just keep reassuring, I'm pretty smart at this. I'm really gifted with this. And don't go to the buts, the dark side. I have people that go, but I'm not as smart as stop. Nope, don't do that. Go to what you feel good about yourself and believe. Don't make it up because it's not going to happen. Right? I think we lost Dave, but I'm not sure. I think he was agreeing with us on that. He was shaking his head and then we popped him off screen, but he'll come back. So it's affirmations, visualizations, visualize what you want and feel it. Again, visualize the scenarios you want, but feel it like it's already happened and like it's real. Right? You can't just pull stuff out of the sky and go, I'm going to be a multimillionaire, and just see yourself sitting in a pile of money. Or I don't know what that would be. See your crypto account just going up into, whatever that is. You got to know it, feel it, believe it. All right. So visualizations can help create your reality that you really believe that you can achieve. Okay. This fake it till you make it thing. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Fake it till, sure, we all learn things. We all are in environments, sometimes work or whatever, situations where we're tasked with things and we have to, I better learn this. I better fake it till you make it. That's fine. But you can't fake real emotion, real fear, you've got to be in touch with what you know that's good about you. So affirming what's good, right? Whatever it is, no judgment. Visualizing what you want, that you think baby steps that you might be able to achieve. Everybody says, dream big, go for it. But you have to be able to feel that you can achieve it. No doubt within your mind. Another thing is, like Dave was talking about a little bit earlier, about gratitude journaling, just having gratitude. You can journal, you can write, I am thankful for. What I do in the morning is I encourage people to write 3 to 5 things that they're grateful for. Write it down in a journal. I call it the gratitude journal. Okay. Sometimes writing really solidifies feelings and thoughts. So put that down. And then before you go to bed at night, when you're winding down, when you're
sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
That's okay.
Everything was plugged in. It just beep.
You know what? I think
my connection.
I think you just bleeped out into the quantum field. I just think out of this reality.
I think so.
Just like the UFOs, the real ones are actually, they just bleep out. And that means they're doing what's called quantum tunneling. But that's a whole different show.
I love that.
I just lost about 1,000 viewers. Okay, whatever.
No way.
Oh, and another point you and I were talking about earlier was, and we just have about 3 minutes left, but surrounding ourselves with positivity. Why is that important? Positive people, positive situations. What do we do about people that are negative around us? What do we do? We've all got them. What do we do?
Right.
So how can we do that?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's great to remind yourself that you do become the people that you surround yourself with, whether or not you want to or not. We take on other people's energy that we surround ourselves with. It's something that happens naturally, whether it's uplifting music, inspirational books, or positive people. Yeah, make sure your environment reinforces your positive energy. Paramahansa Yogananda has a great quote, and he says, environment is more powerful than will. So when we, that's why it is our environment that end up shaping who essentially we are as people. It's the environment has such a powerful effect on who and what we become and how we become that. So making sure that being deliberate about your environment and creating a positive space for yourself at all times is essential.
Okay. And it makes so much sense. So it's about really taking care of ourselves. And that's what I say when I wrap up the show, which is about ready to happen. I always say, take care of yourself first, and then you'll be great for people, right? But
absolutely.
You do that. You practice what you preach. And thank you so much, David, of the Medicine Fam. I mean, you are incredible. Check it out on Instagram, everybody. Inspirational messages, meditation teacher. This guy is. Tell you how to raise your vibration, help enhance your health, natural products, things like. I mean, just you just are full blown with helping humanity, and I thank you so much for your higher consciousness, Dave.
Thank you, Dr. Michelle. You're the best, and you are just such an inspiration to me and everybody that has the great pleasure of receiving your wisdom. You're so amazing, and I love you with all of my heart. You are so amazing.
I love you so dearly. Thanks for being on the show today, Davey.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. And I already said it. Take care of yourself first, and then you'll be great for others. and humanity. Let's raise our consciousness, and let's all take care and try to love each other. As Linda Moulton Howe would say, sending you all agape love. Take good care. Bye.
You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. Michelle, right here on LA Talk Radio.